Worship Radio.
Welcome to Lyrics and Laughs with Hughes, where each week we spotlight your favorite artists, some of the funniest comedians, feature the latest music, and have lots of fun doing it. We've got another exciting show in store for you today. Stay locked right here on FWR Gospel. Happy Memorial Day weekend, folks. We certainly do celebrate our troops here at Lyrics and Laughs with Lay Hughes. While there is nothing funny about what our veterans have had to go through, I certainly do hope that this funny story from Jose Sardui, a military veteran himself, adds a little bit of levity to your day. Listen in.
I did go to school at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. People don't know much about the academy, and the biggest group of people that don't know much about that place is my family. I had no idea what it was. It's a military academy, but the first year you're just running and doing push-ups and learning to iron and vacuuming. You're not really. They don't let you near the airplanes. They point at the airplanes. See those? You got to earn those. So when I was a freshman, first year, 4-degree cadet at the Air Force Academy, I called my mom every Sunday. And then on Monday, an A-10 fighter plane crashed in Wyoming. Pilot survived, but the plane crashed in Wyoming, which, I don't know if you know this, is not Colorado Springs, Colorado. My commander calls me in his office Tuesday morning, and he says, "Cadet Sardui, stand at attention." I was like, "Yes, sir." Ready to go. Whatever he wanted me to do, I was ready. He said, "I'm going to play you a voicemail." And you normally only get phone calls on Sundays, but I need you to go call your mother and explain exactly what you do here. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to hear this voicemail. This is going to be bad. This is going to be a bad voicemail. I don't want to." Here's my mom's voicemail, word for word. Boop. "Is my baby okay? Oh no, I saw the news with the plane crash and there's my baby flying the A-10 Thunderbolt 6. I don't know the number. Please call me back, kid." She didn't leave her name or my name. We had to star 69 her, which is an old-timey phrase now.
Just like Jose Sardui's mom, veterans, the message we want to be clear to you is that we care. Thank you all so much for what you've done. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Now, stay tuned for my interview with Eureka Wright. Woo!
Folks, I am here with the amazing lady, Eureka Wright. Let me share a little bit about her in the event that you don't already know who she is. Washington, D.C. born singer, songwriter Eureka A. Wright is an accomplished lyric soprano who has a special love and passion for gospel music. Hallelujah! Now, though formally trained in vocal music at both Duke Ellington School of the Arts and Howard University in Washington, D.C., HU, Eureka grew up in the church and has always desired to use her gift to glorify God and encourage his people. During the course of her gospel music career, Eureka has traveled extensively, singing background for Stellar Award-winning artists like Maurette Brown Clark and William Beckton and Friends. And from the stages of the John F. Kennedy Center to London to South Africa, this psalmist has ministered to diverse audiences, spreading the immutable message that Jesus lives and he reigns forevermore. In May 2009, Eureka released her first solo project entitled Called for a Purpose. The CD is comprised of 10 power-packed songs showcasing the vocals of an artist that has been dubbed the Songbird by those who have experienced her ministry. Eureka is married to Pastor Keith D. Wright Sr. with 3 beautiful children and 5 adorable grandchildren. And I must add that she is a dear friend of mine. I'm so excited that she's on the phone today. Lady Eureka, please say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. I am so glad to be here with my sister
And the one that has a big part of my heart, Miss Lay, she knows that.
I hope I make it through this interview, folks, because I am so giddy. Clearly, this is a love fest because I love this woman on this phone right here.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I'm just going to give y'all a little piece of our conversation, our interaction. Let y'all listen in. Well, I'm super excited that you were open and had time to join me today, Lady Eureka. And I'm just going to dive right in. I know a lot about you, but I would love for our listeners to learn a little bit more. And I'm just curious, when did you first fall in love with gospel music?
I think that I have always been in love with gospel music, like from day one. I grew up in a household where my mom and her sisters had an a cappella gospel singing group. They got together just about every Saturday at my grandmother's house. And so me and my cousins were always there. We were always around music. And then when they weren't singing, of course, we were listening to Motown and gospel music and cleaning the house to James Cleveland and Walter Hawkins and, Tremaine, who was my absolute favorite, my idol. And so that was just a way of life. That's what I knew growing up. And so when I discovered that I had a little talent, I was like, oh, this is great. Now, let me see what I'm going to do with it. But, it was just a way of life for us. That's all we knew.
Yeah. Born into it.
Born into it from day one.
And you didn't have a choice. You don't sing, baby.
Exactly. Or you're going to hum, you're going to do something, but you will have a special love for music. And that's exactly what I had. And gospel music especially.
Wow. Well, when did you know that you wanted to do it long term? Because that's separate from just loving it.
Exactly. Well, growing up in church and singing in the choir and then getting my first little solo, I didn't know what to do with myself. And because my mom could see that, I had a special love for it, and she's like, well, I think you should start taking voice lessons. So I probably started doing that in my early teens.
Wow.
And once I started doing that, then I decided, well, it benefits me. And so then I started looking at Duke Ellington School of the Arts as my high school.
World-renowned Duke Ellington. Everybody knows Duke
Yes. And it was an experience. I was really shy. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do that, because I wanted to get comfortable with being in front of people. And wow. I thought that going to Duke Ellington and having to perform all the time would help me in that area. And it did. Okay. It helped me to get comfortable with being around people, being in front of people, and performing.
That's amazing. Do you remember the first solo that you did?
It's funny. I was in a little talent show when I was 8 years old, and I sang Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Come on. Yes.
Much fun. Even though I was terrified, I enjoyed being in front of a live audience and getting the immediate feedback. And it was like, oh, that gives you a little, adrenaline pump. So I was like, oh, I think I might actually like this. So but that was my very first time, and it was so much fun. Oh my goodness, so much fun.
I bet. I also heard you mention that you took singing lessons. Now, I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. Did you find a great value in taking singing lessons? Or sort of what was that experience like for you?
I did find great value in taking singing lessons, because I think that they train you classically, because that's the foundation for everything. It's the learning how to breathe correctly. It's the phrasing. It's learning how to hold notes as long as you need to hold them. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Now, it's funny because for me, that was the worst part of singing, is having it's a lot of work. If you take it seriously, it's going to be a lot of work. But in the end, you're going to see the benefits of having done it. Now, they actually hated for us to sing gospel music. Yeah, because you approach gospel music from a totally different aspect than you do when you're singing classical music, and it kind of interferes. But my love for that was so strong, and most of the people that I was at school with were gospel singers, so they were doing that, on their free time and on Sundays. There was kind of no way for them to have us get away from that, but it's really good foundational learning, and getting the skills that you need that will help you with whatever you're singing.
I don't think I realized that there was a declaration against, like, sort of not necessarily singing gospel music to fully understand the approach in learning classical. I don't think for me, in my mind, as someone who hasn't been through the experience like yours, I thought, like, it's like there's foundational information you get, and you just sort of figure out how you want to apply it to the different types of music. I really didn't think that there was ever an effort to sort of separate one from the other. That's really different from how I thought that was set up.
Yeah, and I think it's because with classical music, you want to keep a certain tone, and you want to form your words and things in a certain way. And with gospel music, you feel a little freer. You're not exactly using all that you should be using, all that you're learning, but
you get to squall a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of go off book a little bit, but it's okay. You're going for a certain end result, and that's what you're thinking when you're doing it. So there was no way that they were going to get any of us to stop doing what we all love to do. And while I understood where they were coming from, there was no way for them to interfere with that. That was always going to come first.
That was the crystal clear. It's just different.
Ministry was always going to come first, and so a lot of us did what we were going to do, and thankfully a lot of us are still doing it today.
Amen. Well, what are some of your fondest memories throughout your music ministry?
Oh my gosh. Where do I start? The traveling with my friends was like the best. Being in different places, I would be in a city for a day. I remember one time traveling with Maurette, and we flew to Seattle, and we got there in the morning, and in the evening we did our concert, and we got on the red eye, and we came back home. And I mean, it was times like that were just really exciting. You don't get to see much of the cities because you're kind of in and out, but just the camaraderie and the tight-knitness of being with people that you love, doing the thing that you love, was just the best for me. That was the best for me.
That sounds the best.
And it wasn't work or anything. They didn't have to pay me. I just wanted to be there and doing that thing and making other people feel the joy that I felt in just doing ministry and just being a part of helping people to grow and see themselves the way God sees them.
Helping people.
That's the thing that
see
brought me the
themselves.
greatest joy. Yeah.
Yes, because that's ministry.
That's ministry. And that's what it was all about. And, nobody had to pay me to do that. I just wanted to make people's lives better through ministry.
That is such humility at its finest, and just like servant leadership is what I'm hearing. And I don't know if I'm terrible, because I would have, still felt like they should have given you a check, but like I don't know that they didn't. I'm just saying, like, I hope that doesn't make me less spiritual, because I think that it's still nice to pay people, but
yeah. Yeah.
But I celebrate your servant leadership.
Yeah. I mean, eventually pay got involved, and that was nice. But ministry is something that, I just love to do. And after a while, being on the road, it was cool. But after a while, I really just wanted to be at my church home. I enjoyed ministering there, and eventually, that is what happened. I gave up being on the road and just being at home every Sunday and ministering with my church family brought me such joy, because that's how I started out.
Yeah. Was there something that happened that sort of turned that switch for you? Like, just sort of just said, you know what, I wanna be home. Was there something specific that happened?
Not anything specific. It's just that there came a point for me, because my first love was singing every Sunday in church with my church family, that it just came full circle. And, I just went back to my first love. Wow.
This is a real love story, folks.
Yeah, I went back to my first love
story.
Just being at my home church with my family.
Yeah. Have you ever had any regrets to that decision?
Not at all. Not at all. Not one. Because I had been out there for years. I had gotten to meet a whole lot of people. I had gotten to see a whole lot of things. And so I know after I made that decision, I didn't feel like I personally was missing anything, because I had experienced it.
You'd already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Done it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than my... sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I want to hear what you had to say.
No, I was just saying, no regrets. Just I was just glad to have had that experience, and have had the chance to meet so many wonderful people whom I still keep in contact with today. So that whole experience was invaluable.
I love that. And that's what I was going after. You sort of talked about the camaraderie, the friendships, and sort of like the people that you're still connected to. And I was going to ask you, like, other than Maurette, like, who are some of your other musical inspirations or connections that you have made and still value today?
Oh, there are a lot of them. And there are a lot of people that that I'm still in contact with, or we run into each other every once in a while. Like Stephen Hurd, who is my favorite. We did some schooling together, and I just love running into Steve. He still cracks me up right to this day. There's never a dull moment with that joker, I'm telling you. So much fun with him and the Tillerys, and there are just so many people, Kivette, and all of us that were in the group together, Kivette Burwell and Gwen Ross and Keith Lee, who I started out actually with the Keith Lee Singers right out of high school, and that was a blast. That's how I met Maurette. So just so many of them that we are still keeping in contact with, and if we need anything, they're right there.
After all these years.
after all these years, when you create that bond, it's unbreakable. It's unbreakable. And so those are people that I still love and still hold dear right today.
Oh, I'm getting all the feels. Like I want to hug somebody. This is a moment.
But when I see
this is a moment.
Hugs in, yes.
I know. In this world, I get nervous these days about hugging, but that's what we used to do before all this COVID foolishness. I would just fall in your arms. You just hold me.
Yep. Exactly.
Hold me till I let go.
I miss it.
I miss it too. Now listen, we can have a whole other show on not letting everybody hug you, but I love your hug, so I'm gonna put that out there. If you ever run in contact with Lady Eureka, you got a blessed hug.
Right, because I'm a hugger.
Okay. You got to let everybody hug you, but you want that Lady Eureka hug. I'm gonna put that out there. No, I'm curious, as we continue talking or having you share, what have you learned about yourself since you started out on this musical journey?
I guess I learned that I don't always see myself the way other people see me. And I used to love to just stay in the background and just be helpful. And I was told over and over that you don't belong there, that you're a leader. And so I guess sometimes I was leading and I didn't even know it. And so I was trying to see myself as God sees me and see the things that he put in me that other people were seeing that maybe I wasn't seeing in myself. And so being out there and being with people and ministering and meeting people and hearing their different views helped me to start to see myself in a different way. That I don't.
What do you think kept you? Oh, sorry, I was about to dig into that a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, dig into it, girl. Go ahead, get to digging.
No, I'm like curious. Like, what do you think kept you from seeing yourself the way others did? Or the way
I don't know. I think being that shy person and not wanting to be in the front. Because I just didn't want the attention on me like that. And so when I realized that wasn't how other people were seeing me and that wasn't where I belonged, then I made a real concerted effort to start to take my place where God wanted me to be, so that I could do the things that he had put in me to do, and I could affect the people that he had assigned to me to affect.
Wow.
Sometimes we just don't know. Life beats up on you a little bit, and you don't see yourself as other people see you. So it was important for me in my journey to start looking inwardly and really accept what God had placed on the inside of me, and to not be shy and to not allow fear to keep me from doing the things that I was supposed to do and meeting the people that I was supposed to meet and bring about the change that I was supposed to bring.
How do you do that, though? How do you manage those emotions, knowing that you'd rather be in the background, but you're called to the front? How do you manage that?
It's a matter of not allowing the fear to restrict you and to hold you back. And so I spent a lot of time focused on that. I spent a lot of time reading the word that encouraged me and let me know that, God had not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I had to focus on scriptures like that to motivate me to do the things that I was called to do. And that really, really helped me. And not just to read them, but to say them out loud so that it was said in my hearing from my own voice. And that really helped.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I had to hear me say what God said about me. So I would read it out.
Oh, excuse me. That thing got up in my bones. Hold on. I had to hear me say, oh. Listen, my little baby toe just did something. I don't know.
Girl, you are silly.
I had to hear me say it, right? Because we go to church, right? We go to church, we sit in the pews, or, virtually we listen in, we do audio books and, all kinds of technology to put ourselves in position to hear the word. But it's something when we hear ourselves say it. Yes, exactly. It kind of hits us different, as folks say.
And that's so what good. It did. Hearing me say what God had to say about me hit me differently. And I found myself growing from that. Another thing that has really helped me is my husband, because he's such an outgoing person. He's such a people. Oh my gosh! There's not a shy bone in this man's body, and he's out there and he's talking to people and he's introducing his wife and he's proud and I was like, well, I can't just stand in the background because he's not allowing me to stand back there. And so that was, being with him the last 15 years has really been helpful too, because he puts himself out there and he puts me out there. And I want to represent him and my household in a great way. So there's no space for me to stand in the background.
Oh, I have to walk beside. Shout out to Pastor Keith.
Yeah. So that has also been helpful.
No, I didn't mean to jump in. I just wanted to give a shout out to Pastor Keith real quick, and I love how you shouted him out. Yes, and celebrated how he has also supported in creating an atmosphere for you to walk out what God has called you to in the leadership space. I love that. I love that. I want us to get into this song. He Shall Perform It. One of your awesome singles that you have. And I'm curious, what inspired this song, He Shall Perform It?
Well, I knew that I wanted to, one of the things that I love to do is sing the scriptures, because people learn the scriptures without realizing that they're learning the scriptures. And there are things that we all need to know. And because I'm from DC, I wanted to also have a song on the CD that represented our background in go-go, something that's uniquely DC.
Uniquely DC.
So I wanted to give a little bit of that flavor in this song, and also have people learning the scriptures without realizing that was what was happening. They'll sing along, and the next thing they know, there's a scripture there that they're familiar with. So that was
with a catchy tune.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I wanted. And, I still have my classical background. So that's just the way my voice comes through. And so it's just a mixture of genres, but it brings about a message, and it's a catchy tune that, people will remember.
Amen. Well, let's let the people hear a little bit. We're going to play that song right now. He Shall Perform It. Here we are. Eureka Wright with He Shall Perform It.
Who has begun you shall perform until the day. Oh, Jesus Christ. God is not a man that he should lie. Should lie. God is not a man that he should repent. As he said and will, he not do it. He will do it. For he's spoken and will, he not make it good. He has begun. Has begun. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Yes, he will. Until the day of Jesus Christ.
If he said he will perform it, it will get done. He got the power to do what he gotta do. And then son, he made man from a single grain of sand. Through the breath of life in his nostrils, created man. Pay attention to the power to be. How do I know? Take a look. He saved the wretch like me. You need to listen to the words that's pumping through your speaker. Hey yo, I'm through talking. Take him to church. Come on, Eureka.
Until the day of he shows up. He's gonna do it just like he said it would. Until the day of Jesus Christ. He's gonna do it when he shows up. I know he'll do it. He said he'll do it. And I'm saying that he shows up. Jesus,
That was He Shall Perform It by Lady Eureka Wright, who I'm excited to continue our conversation. Lady Eureka, just before we played that song, we started giving a little shout out to your husband, Pastor Keith, who I know very well also. But I'd love to hear from you more about what role does family play in your music career?
Oh my goodness. Huge. Like I said, you know, my mom has always been my biggest cheerleader, and you know, growing up with her and her sisters and just you know, listening to them and learning from them, and then all the music that was played in the house. I mean, it just meant everything, and it shaped who I would become musically. And then my husband, when we got together, I was still working on the CD, and I had been working on that CD forever. I was like, oh God, this is never going to come to fruition. When am I going to be done with this thing? And he said, let's get it done. And he was in the studio with me, and he would sit through whatever rehearsals I was having. He was just so encouraging, and And he even pitched in financial. He's like, whatever you need, we're going to get this done because I know that this has been a dream of yours. And I really wanted to do it for friends and family. You know, I didn't have any big dreams of traveling anymore. I had done that. But this was a dream that I had that I wanted to fulfill. And he was like, we're going to get it done. And we did. And then throughout that, he celebrated it, and if I sang with this one, that one, or the other, he was there and he was celebrating, and he was cheering, and our coming together was absolutely done by God, and that I knew that right from day one. And 15 years later, I still know that, and I'm still rejoicing, and I still thank God for him every day, you know.
Wait, it's been 15 years?
15 years.
No.
Isn't that incredible?
I must have stopped looking at the calendar, because in my mind, y'all just got married like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
15 years. Let me qualify that. A lot of it is because every time I encounter y'all still act like newlyweds to me. And so for me, 15 years is hard because it's the love is always so fresh and so new. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, Lay? I've learned that that's something that you have to do. Like you said, you know, things get rough, and you're like, okay, what's happening now, Lord? Which direction are we supposed to go in? And we've had to get through a lot of rough times, job losses, cancer, a cancer scare. It was like, you know, it's like, okay, what's coming next? Okay, I didn't just ask that question. I don't want to know.
Please, Jesus, no, Lord.
You know, but
I
through
beg.
it all, you gotta get back to basics. You gotta keep your line of communication open, and you just, you know, love is an action word. It's a verb. It's not, oh, I feel like doing this, that, or the other, but you do it because that love is there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've just kept that in mind through whatever rough times we've had, and we get back to the basics, and we talk to each other, and we talk to God, and sometimes we tell God on each other, but
Jesus. You
Good
what he did to me.
Yeah, so, you know. But we get back to basics. We get back to basics. The love is real. And, you know, we know that this is something that God did, and we honor that.
And we honor that. We are long overdue for a double date. Let me shout out my husband. Hey, boo.
I know, that's my big brother.
I just shout out my husband, too. I was getting all warm and fuzzy. I'm like, where's my boo? I got to call him. Yes. Okay. Well, we have to figure out when we're going to do our next double date.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Yes. Okay. It's long overdue.
Yeah.
Here's another fun question for you. Who would you want to do a collaboration with?
Oh, my. Wow. Now, see, you hadn't stumped me until now. That's a good old question right there. You know, I guess I
anyone pop in your mind?
Well, probably with some of my girls that I was in the Keith Lee Singers with would be my first thought, because, you know, I like the way our voices blended together, and I just think that it's been, I won't say how many years it's been, but like if, you know, if Moret and...
We're not letting no secrets out.
Yeah, I can't spill it all, but if Moret and Kivette and Gwen wanted to do something, and even my baby girl Dodie, because I miss singing with her. You know, if I could get together with my girls and we could do something like a little gospel girls group, I would love that. I would love that.
Oh, well, y'all heard it here first, okay? If it happens, consider it an exclusive. Look, I got all tongue tied. Listen, put it out there and see if we can gather the group.
I know that's right. I was thinking that.
I'll be in the background doing the ooh-wops.
Okay. Because, we need that.
All right. Or maybe just playing the tambourine. I'll be somewhere around.
Oh, that's too fun.
Let me be near.
Hey.
Oh, okay. I gotta remember it's other people listening to this conversation because I can talk to you all day. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Okay.
Okay, listen. This is. I know. This is one question I ask all the guests that come on this show, and I'm interested to hear your response. But I'd love for you to name one thing that people don't know about you, but you wish they did.
Let's see. What would that be?
I know. It's just transparent.
That is a really good question. I'm not sure what they don't know about me. That's too funny.
Let's see. What's your favorite snack?
No.
What's your favorite snack?
Cake, which is a big problem. Yeah.
For who?
Yeah. Cake and chocolate. That's a big problem. It's funny because this month I was like, okay, have any cake? You can't have chocolate. You can't have anything that is junk food like that. And it's been a little bit of a struggle.
No.
But, I was like, I'm giving it up for the month of May.
Oh.
I went through withdrawal for a little while, but I'm doing better. Better.
Was that on purpose, or did something drive that decision?
It was just on purpose. I was like, okay, you gotta see if you can do it. And yeah. Yeah,
well, I celebrate you. I'm glad I didn't know, because I'm not that friend. I'm not good at saying put it down. I would be like,
right.
Yes, we should eat it together. Split it with me. So now that I know, I'll be mindful.
Yeah, I'm a junk foodaholic. So I decided to try to give it up for a month, and I've done well. There was a couple of moments, but overall, I think I've done well. And maybe next month I'll give up something else, but this month, yeah, that's what I decided to do.
I love that. And we are cheering you on. And now, fans of Lady Eureka, if you want to bless her, aside from purchasing her music, you can get her some snacks next month. Not May, but next month.
Yeah, not May. Not May. Thank y'all. I love y'all.
Next month.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how do we stay in touch with you? How do we follow you? How do we get your music? Give us the rundown.
Well, you can get my music on Amazon. My CD is still available there. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can just hit me up via email at thepsalmist2004@yahoo.com. And, I'm checking that all the time. So if you need anything, just let me know.
How about social media? Are you on any social media platforms that folks can follow you on?
Sure. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And, as we get older, we try to keep up with all of this stuff, all this newfangled stuff. Most of the time, my grandchildren are telling me how to use it. But I'm out there. You can find me.
Is your handle? I'm tickled over here. Is your handle your name? Should they search for Eureka Wright, or is it something different? Okay.
No, it's
All right,
it's my name.
All right, get the searching.
Yep,
Reach out.
I'm out there.
Stay connected.
I'm out
there. Well, interestingly enough, the next song of yours we're going to play is Come Back Home. So you out there, but we're going to play Come Back Home.
Okay.
And we're going to celebrate this next song of yours. But before we do, tell us a little bit about what inspired this song, Come Back Home.
Well, this song was for people who felt like, you know, they got away from church and they got away from their relationship with God, and that there is, like, he doesn't want them back. Like, there's no way home. But, you know, that's not the God that we serve. And I wanted people to know, I wanted to encourage them to, you know, start to pray again, start to seek him again, because he didn't go anywhere, and his desires did not change. He doesn't change his mind. He put you here for a purpose, and he's going to see that through. And sometimes, you know, we go astray, but he's still there and he's still waiting. So come back home.
Hallelujah. You heard it here. Come Back Home. Lady Eureka Wright with Come Back Home.
Oh yeah, he's calling you and you feel that you've been gone too long. You feel you've gone astray and everything is wrong. But God says that he's the same. He's waiting your return. Don't cry, say goodbye to that wretched life. You can come back home. The Father is waiting. Won't you come your return anticipate? Come back home. The Father is waiting. Won't you come back home? Forgiven and forgotten are the things you used to do. All things are passed away and everything's brand new. So you don't have to humble. He'll take you as you are. Don't you cry. Say goodbye to that wretched life. You can come back home. The Father is waiting. Won't you come your return? Why don't you come back home? The Father is waiting. Won't you come back home? Ooh, come home. Come back home. The Father is waiting. Oh, come back home. Home is where you feel safe, secure, and all your problems seem to fade. Jesus is a shelter and a rescue from the storm and from the rain. Give him your life and watch him erase the pain. Yeah, he's calling for you. All you have to do is come back home. Come back home. He wants you. He loves you. He needs you. Come home. Come home. Yeah. Whoa. He's forgiven. Yes. And he's forgotten. Now forgive yourself and come back.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lyrics and Laughs with Leigh Hughes. Meet me here each and every Sunday for more artist spotlights, great music, and plenty of laughs. Throughout the week, you can follow me on Instagram at Lyrics, Laughs, and Leigh, or download the FWR Gospel app for endless music and inspiration. Remember, love conquers all. See you next week.
Keep it locked right here on your favorite gospel station.